Hey guys, Giaquinto here, back with another episode of Essential Things and Where to Find Them. We are currently on episode 3 for the Dark Souls Remastered series, episode 6 for the official series run itself. Behind me, we're looking at the main focus of this video, the Door of Artorias, which is opened by the item which is focused in this video, the Crest of Artorias. It is a 20,000 soul purchase sold by the second blacksmith in the game. The door leads to the grave of Sir Artorias the Abyss Walker. Many adventurers have left for the grave, but none have returned, for they make easy prey for local bandits. With such dangers, the crest can do more harm than good in the hands of the uninitiated. A 20,000 soul purchase. This is the item that I was referring to in my last video, saying we want to save some souls and set them aside. And if you've been watching my videos, you probably have some usable souls, which you're going to see me pop them here. If you still don't meet the 20,000 required amount, or you feel like you're not going to reach that, take on the gargoyles. So I'm going to showcase that run in this video as well, along with a few other things that you can pick up. These are some of the usables that I got through running in the catacombs and just a few other places, but a smart person would have still not used these until they were absolutely sure that they had enough to make the purchase right then and there. I just want to quickly mention that the crest that opens the door to the hidden part in the forest leads to one of the best, if not the best, farming area in the game. And if you came primarily for that, feel free to open up the description and click the timestamp for the farming method. If you're here for the sidetracking, the gargoyle boss run, or at least the coverage of the initial area that's going to lead to that fight, feel free to keep watching. You're going to be guarded upon entering the Undead Church by a big guardian enemy. He's extremely slow but extremely powerful. He has a wide hit area. You're going to want to hug his back, and I'm using my dagger here just because I enjoy using daggers on bigger enemies. He's susceptible to bleed, which is the other reason I'm using it, so you'll be able to make him bleed out fairly easy. Just keep hugging his back. If you feel like his mace is going to hit you, just kind of roll through the opposite direction that the hit is coming in at, and you should be alright. You could always roll away from him as well if you're at the very back point of him. And he's guarding a Firekeeper soul, so make sure you take that to the Firekeeper and Firelink Shrine for the Estus +2, the enhanced healing. Ascending the church further, we have the rapier user at the very top of the steps. The position that he's in right now, if you ever see him with the rapier in front of his face, he has the ability to parry you, which means you want to avoid hitting him until he lets his guard down. Once he lets his guard down, you should be able to take him out fairly easy, but we're not done yet. So once again, at the very top of the steps, we have the gargoyle boss fight. Upon going to the very top once more, cutting left immediately, we have a despawnable enemy, the Undead Church's mage, who's a fairly easy enemy. You want to avoid his physical attacks because he hits like a truck. You'll be really surprised. But these ghouls are going to ambush you, and the blue aura around them, that's actually a rally buff being provided by the mage, so they deal more damage. If you need to take them out with firebombs, I was going to attempt to use the Alluring Skulls. I never got a chance. I'm not sure if that works, and I wanted to see if I could get it in for the video, but I was being overwhelmed. Once you take out the mage, I peeked up. That's where you fight the gargoyles. But before we do that, we're going to run into two side rooms. We have one item here, and then we have the corridor that leads to the NPC that we wanted to look at for this video. And you definitely want to make sure that you talk to him before furthering progression in the story, just because he gives you, I should say that he drops or completing the side quest, he provides you with one of the best rings in the game by far. Get the humanity, and when you break this door, this is the room that the NPC is in. This is Knight Lautrec. This door opens through the use of a mystery key, which I don't think I covered in previous videos, so definitely Google that if you reach this point and you don't have it in your inventory, because once again, I don't think that's something that I covered. Once you open the door for Lautrec, exhaust all of his dialogue, and then he's going to say that he will reward you. And basically what's going to happen here is he's going to move to Firelink Shrine, which I'm going to show you that. You have the option of killing him here to get the ring early, but I highly recommend you wait on that.
Hello there. I have your reward. Please accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
So, going back to our current focus, which is the gargoyles, that is the area that you will see upon fighting them, and then once you finally beat them, you're going to climb this tower and ring the bell. For spoiler purposes, I'm going to leave that fight out of the actual video. But just make sure you ring the bell, as it is part of the main story. I figured I would throw that in here really quick. And then once you do that, you're going to go back down the tower, and another NPC is going to show up here. Now, this guy is Oswald of Carim, and he sells some unique miracles. Almost like a dark variation of the usage of the Art of Miracles. And you can also pick up a gesture from him. A few random items, which a few of those are really useful. Karmic Justice is the spell that he's going to offer you, and then he's going to offer you a weapon called Velka's Talisman, which is an intelligence-based talisman. I always thought that was really cool that they included something like that. And finally, he has 3 rings, 2 of which are permanent, and then 1 ring of sacrifice, if you ever find yourself on a suicide run. So you're going to descend the church now and go the complete opposite way you came. And before we cash in our souls at the blacksmith, we're going to visit one more NPC, another one of the fan favorites and my personal favorites in Dark Souls 1 and the entire series as a whole. Exhausting his dialogue here is going to open up his POV and side quest. This is Siegmeyer of Catarina, which I love his dialogue so much, so definitely talk to him every chance you get, because that's actually a part of his side quest, is exhausting everything he has to say. So once you do that, go to the very bottom and cash in on your Crest of Artorias. You're gonna You're gonna ignore the Titanite demon down here. He drops Demon Titanite, which you can use to upgrade boss weapons. For the purpose of sticking to our end goal in this video, I decided to leave that out. We're gonna run through this new area for us, for anyone watching the series, the Darkroot Garden, which we have some tree enemies that will pop up. Now, these tree enemies drop some really useful items. They drop mosses that will stop blood, toxic, and poison build up. And if you're in a situation to where your health is draining from toxin or poison, you can eat them then too, and it will get rid of those debuffs and afflictions for you. Now, to the left of where you would use the Crest of Artorias, we have the hidden illusionary wall, which you're going to hit it and activate the bonfire. I recommend you kindle that bonfire to plus 15 if you got the Rite of Kindling, which I talked about in the first video in the series. And the reason for that being is because this is home to a covenant where you can be constantly invaded if you're human. I recommend you come in here hollowed so you can farm at your own leisure. The enemy behind me is a despawnable knight. Everything else that I'm going to aggro on this side of the forest is completely respawnable. These are going to be your farming sources. Now, these are mid to late game enemies and they hit like trucks. So you want to run up through the midish left part of the forest, and you're going to aggro them to this cliff. Now check this out. With the use of your shield, and I recommend getting in the far corner and standing off near the ledge, just far enough to where that mage can hit you with his soul arrows. You're going to stick your shield out, and your shield acts as a bridge for the enemies to walk over and off to their death. This does have some flaws though, like for example, if you're using a smaller shield, sometimes they won't fall off, and you'll have to kind of stick out and defend for your life, or kick them off, or melee them off. But through trial and error, you'll find your niche and just your standing point. I recommend using bigger shields for more consistency. So that's it for the farming method. That's it for the Undead Church coverage. Next video, we're going to look at some more Secrets of the Forest and some really sweet pickups for our next episode. This has been Quinto. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next episode. Good night.